In April of 1971, Judith Brown, Roberta Collins, and Pam Grier all starred in Jack Hill's The Big Dollhouse. Later that same year, they reunited in a different women in prison film, this one from director Gerordo de Leon. Quentin Tarantino is a big fan of de Leon, and he described this film as harsh, 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 and said that final shot is one of devastating despair. Sounds like fun. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at the Roger Corman produced 1971 women in prison film, Women in Cages. The women in prison films, starting in the, late 60s and onward, they all have a lot in common. They normally revolve around an innocent woman who is sent to prison, and while in that prison, she is tortured by sadistic guards and or other prisoners. There's often some lesbianism of both the wanted and unwanted variety. The prisoners are normally kept in various states of undress, pretty much guaranteed to have a catfight at one point. You'll most likely see at least one shower scene, and if you're real lucky, someone will get out a fire hose. And it will all most likely end with some sort of dangerous and daring, action-packed prison escape. Fun, 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 fun. These movies are made of fun, but they do kind of get a bit repetitive. The women in prison films that rise above the rest are the ones that tick all of those boxes in interesting ways and also have some interesting characters and dialogue along the way. Also doesn't hurt if the characters are smoking hot. So let's see how this one does with all of the above. We open on a boat filled with strippers. Watery tarts, my kind of people, although I don't think they should be deciding on our form of government.
But you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you. Shut up!
Anyway, there's some sort of exchange going on, and some other people are keeping abreast of the situation. And then we hop over to some cockfighting. And sure, I could make a joke here. It wouldn't be hard. And then there's some more exchanging going on. The man notices he's being watched and he stashes the goods in his girlfriend's bag. Stand-up dude right there. The girl, who goes by the name Jeff, gets caught and is off to prison. 10 years hard labor. During her processing, she finds out that the guards are none too nice. And hey, look who it is, Pam Grier, playing one of the bad guys. This is gonna be fun. Here she goes by the name Alabama. This processing includes a fire hose and some delousing powder, so it's kind of like the processing scene of The Shawshank Redemption if Tim Robbins had had tips. And then we meet the roommates. More familiar faces, Roberta Collins and Judith Brown. And back on the outside, the boyfriend who let Jeff take the fall is worried she might talk, so he organizes a hit. Yeah, stand-up dude right there. Turns out Jeff's roommate is a junkie, so it's pretty easy to convince her to try to kill Jeff in exchange for her next hit. So she accepts the hit and poison sandwich and gives that poison sandwich to Jeff, but she doesn't eat it. A rat does. We also find out that one of the roommates gets special treatment because she gives Pam Grier special treatment. Okay, and since this is a women in prison film, it's pretty much going to play out in the ways you would expect. It'll get to all of those elements I mentioned earlier, so that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Pam Grier. She's always a joy to watch, and here we get to watch her be a bad guy. That's a nice change of pace. She looks amazing, she says hilarious things, she revels in both the torture and more amorous scenes. She's Pam Grier. Oh, and on those torture scenes, they're a bit more creative than what we're used to in these kinds of movies, so kudos. I mean, at one point, Pam Grier gets out a trident. Damn, Pam, going Poseidon on those ladies. And beyond Pam, the other characters are pretty interesting too. Roberta Collins as the junkie trying to kill Jeff is a particular highlight. And for a low-budget 70s women in prison film, there's some pretty good photography here. Some really nice use of lighting and some creative camera angles. Pretty cool. So yeah, overall, this is a solid entry in the women in prison film genre. And if that's your thing, this is your thing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this shows up on some people's list of favorite women in prison films. Oh, and like Tarantino said, yes, that ending is woohoo, yeah, that is pretty dark. But I wouldn't say the film is perfect. Like lesbian lovers relaxing after a hard day in the cane fields, this film has some shortcomings. Well, even though I said I like some of the photography here, and I do, a lot of the photography here, though, is pretty dark. This does give the film kind of a grimy feel, which I appreciate, but me personally, I like my women in prison films sunnier and sweatier. Call me old-fashioned. Oh, beyond that, I think there's some animal cruelty in this movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they actually killed that snake. I don't know. Maybe not, but it looks pretty real. I don't know, it's a little silly to complain too much about this. This is a low-budget, women-in-prison exploitation film. You know what to expect. And it will meet those expectations. In fact, it might even exceed them.